Total Media Group station.
Swinging a high fly ball. They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
Holy cow! And there he goes!
It's time to step across the line with James Collier as he takes you inside the octagon of sports. With the latest from the world of sports, the scores, interviews, and the hardest-hitting analysis in the business. Let's step into the octagon of sports.
Let's go!
With your host, James Collier.
And welcome into Across the Line on the Total Media Sports Network. James Collier, happy to have you along with us here. Happy holidays to everyone out there as we go into the week of Christmas. And, of course, it's going to be a crazy week with everything going on from last-minute shopping to all of those holiday and Christmas get-togethers. So we'll talk a little bit about some sports stuff this week. And, of course, my Christmas special. I always like to look at some of my favorite Christmas things as well as we go through this week. So we're going to look at the college football playoffs, obviously. One game final last night. Alabama down 17-0, comes from behind and beats Oklahoma. So number 9 over number 8. So Alabama will go to play Indiana, the top-ranked team in the nation, next week when they go into the quarterfinal rounds, if you will, and no longer playing at hometowns, but this will be one of those games that move on. And then we got 3 good games today. So we're going to break all of those down. We're also going to look at the NFL and some big games with playoff implications in the balance of those. We'll take a look at all of that, how things are shuffling out. Some teams have really kind of made the move one direction or the other, and what a game we got Thursday night with the Rams and the Seahawks, and a crazy play that gave the Seahawks new life and ended up leading them into an opportunity for a victory. So we'll break that down. It's the Borders Sporting Goods Rant of the week coming up a little bit later on in the show as well. And then, of course, we're going to talk some Christmas stuff throughout as we continue this Christmas program. All right, we'll take a break. We come back. We'll dig into the college football playoffs. 1-game final, 3 more to go here in the opening round. We'll break it all down. We continue after this here on Across the Line on the Total Media Sports Network. Christmas is just around the corner, and Borders Sporting Goods is your one-stop shop for your avid outdoorsman. Borders offers Hoyt and Matthews bows as well as 10-point crossbows with a variety of accessories for all your hunting needs. Borders also offers a full selection of shotguns and rifles with plenty of ammunition and reload supplies, along with Benchmade and case knives. Borders is your headquarters for the largest selection of Liberty gun safes in the area, no matter how big or small your need to keep your firearms safe, and have layaway and delivery options available. Let Borders make all your holiday shopping a breeze. Stop by and stock up at Borders Sporting Goods, US 60 West in Ashland.
Tired of gas prices draining your wallet faster than your tank?
Download the Clark's Pump and Shop Rewards app. Earn discounts on gas, breakfast sandwiches, drinks, and more.
Fuel up, snack up, save up with Clark's Rewards. Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel. My place for the game?
Zach, you never have food.
I'm going to Clark's Pump and Shop. I'm loading up on crispy crunchy chicken, Hanger 54 pizza, and chips.
Well then, I'm in. And way to support the family business.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
At First National Bank, we strive to make every person that walks through our doors feel like family, because to us, you are. For over 120 years, we have lived in and served the families of Kentucky with genuine care through the good times and the bad. Come and see the difference banking with family can truly make for you at any of our 7 locations, or visit our website at www.fnbgrayson.com. First National Bank, member FDIC.
Primary Plus is your home for quality, advanced, affordable health care, offering family health, OBGYN, counseling, dental, diabetes management, patient-centered medical home, school-based health services, and a pharmacy. Primary Plus also offers the COVID-19 vaccine. Primary Plus with locations in Ashland, Vanceburg, South Shore, Grayson, Tollsboro, Maysville, Flemingsburg, and now in Moorhead. Online, primaryplus.net. For quality, advanced, affordable health care, come to Primary Plus. Again, online, primaryplus.net.
Kicking off your sports Saturday with Across the Line, right here on the Total Media Sports Network at 105.7 WLGC.
Back inside the Octagon on the Total Media Sports Network as we dive into the college football playoffs. One game final, and it's, look at the seedings if you want, but it's an upset if you go by the seedings. But number 9, Alabama, goes to Norman and beats number 8, Oklahoma. This was a rematch of a game that played not too long ago in which Oklahoma got a 2-point win over Alabama. But for the Crimson Tide, they get the victory when it matters the most, and that's when all of the chips are in the center of the table. They were down 17-0 in this game. Then they stormed back to even the game at 17 at the half, outscore Oklahoma 10-0 in the third. Oklahoma did cut it to 3, but then Alabama answered right back with a touchdown and win this one 34-24. Ty Simpson, 2 touchdowns, 232 yards, 18 of 29. Again, it's nothing that really jumps out at you with any of the numbers. They only rushed, as a total, 25 carries for 28 yards. Ty Simpson was sacked several times. He was 6 carries for minus 22. But, again, Alabama finds a way to go on the road and get a win when it matters the most. And for Kalen DeBoer, this is, I think, a huge win because obviously there's been a lot of name dropping around some of these places where the head coaching jobs are available. Michigan being one of those after all the crazy things that came out of there. There's several NFL jobs that's kicking around. There's lots of jobs around the college football ranks that's out there. But Kalen DeBoer comes out and basically says he's content where he is. So we'll see how it plays out. But this one right here certainly helps silence the critics, if you will, to move forward. The big thing that Alabama got was a touchdown on the defensive side. Savion Brown with a pick 6 of 50 yards, and that's huge. And the big thing was, I thought, on the backside of this, was on the last drive Alabama scores, you got a terrible punt from Oklahoma. Alabama took over on the plus side of 50. They got a big chunk play that took them first and goal to the 5. And then after that, they kick it in the end zone, and no issues after that. So, it's one of those deals of when you get into the postseason, the records you've had all year long means nothing. And, of course, that 2-point loss might have meant more now than it did in that situation back in the regular season. John Mateer, 26 of 41, 307 yards, 2 touchdowns, the interception. They, again, rushed the ball 33 times for 55 yards. And all of those were rushing attempts. There was no, the numbers, John Mateer, 19 for 15 yards. He did have the one rushing touchdown, but the really bright point for the offensive outpouring of Oklahoma, Deion Burks, 7 catches for 107 and a tutty. So the question becomes is now what happens with Oklahoma? And, of course, the very first thing that happens when you lose a football game is your players that are in your locker room immediately start to jump into the portal. So now the question is, how or what will Oklahoma have left whenever they get finished with all of that moving forward? So, you hear some of these veteran head coaches that have either been there or are still there, and the very first thing they'll talk about is the most important players that I have to recruit as soon as our season is over are the players inside my locker room. And that's absurd to think of because, used to when you brought a player in, that player was there. They were going to be there for quite some time, and this running and jumping every single year. You've got some players that have played with 6 different schools over 7 seasons because of the COVID year and a medical red shirt and all this other crap that they put out there. I mean, what kind of longevity or cohesiveness is that? 6 teams in 7 years. That's absurd. But that is the society that we live in, without a doubt. So, either way, here's the 3 games we have going on today. So we start off first at noon on ABC and ESPN. Number 10, Miami, goes to number 7, Texas A&M. And, of course, the big matchup with this one is Texas A&M losing to Texas there in the latter part of the season, which dropped them out of what was going to be a first-round bye for them because at the time they were third. And then Miami sitting on the outside looking in, and on the last day of the final rankings, Miami scoots in and becomes number 10 and boots out Notre Dame. Now, of course, all the Notre Dame people out there are hoping that Texas wins over Miami by 1 billion. All of the Miami people and the people that love absolute drama throughout this type of thing hopes that Miami just lays a big one on A&M. I think this is going to be a really good matchup. The biggest thing that you've got to look at is that I think Miami is a balanced team. They do the things the right way. The question is, and I talked about this last week, which team will Carson Beck throw the football to? If he throws it to the correct team, Miami has a legitimate shot of going to Lubbock and getting a victory. If Carson Beck turns into the guy that we've seen him be in years past, when he was with Georgia, and sometimes he forgets, and we've seen it some this year with Miami, he forgets which team is his team, and he throws it to the wrong team. And that would be huge for Texas A&M if they could get an early interception or just kind of get him off his marks to get him to where he's not playing comfortable. So we'll see how that works out. But the biggest thing on here is the fact of it is in Lubbock. And Texas A&M, their home crowd is legit. Home of the 12th man. So the turnover battle is going to be huge in this one. And more importantly, can Miami go into a volatile environment and pick up a key win on their season? This one right here is, I think, going to be the best game of the day. Now, we go into the 3:30 window. This is on TNT, True TV, and HBO Max. What a great place to put all these games, by the way. You've got ABC and ESPN's got one. The other two are on paywalls. Before you know it, you're going to have to pay to watch the entire college football playoffs if you don't have TNT or True TV or HBO Max, whatever. But number 11, Tulane. Number 6, Ole Miss. This is my upset special. The reason being is, which Ole Miss team are we going to see? Obviously, you lose your head coach in Lane Kiffin, who belts and heads out to LSU. You've got Tulane, that is your top Group of 5 champion, winning the American, and a team that is just going to do all of the things the right way. They're not going to wow you. They're not going to jump off the charts with this player and this player's accolade, and this piece does this, and this guy does this, and this is a Heisman Trophy finalist. None of that's going to happen with this team. But what they are going to do is they're going to try to capitalize on any opportunity Ole Miss gives them. And this one, like I said, I would not be shocked one bit to see Tulane come out of this game with a victory. The biggest thing that leads to this one is the connection to the next game in the 7:30 window with number 12, James Madison, at number 5, Oregon. Again, TNT, True TV, and HBO Max. The JMU Dukes winning the Sun Belt, and for the first time ever in the history of the college football playoffs, puts 2 teams from a Group of 5 into the playoffs. Now, of course, all of the mainstream media and the people that are out there that are all for basically the Power 4 controlling all of the rankings, and the Group of 5 shouldn't even be in consideration in this stuff. They want to see Ole Miss and Oregon absolutely decimate Tulane and James Madison, because then they can sit back and say, see there, that's why these teams don't need to be in this conversation. And you've even had some of these people in media and some of these guys that are saying this are sports personalities that I absolutely hate. But they're talking about the NCAA tournament and the field of 68 and the mid-majors and the Cinderellas. And they're talking about how that some of these teams shouldn't even make it through the door, let alone be playing on the national stage. Well, that's the shot they're taking at Tulane and James Madison. And the worst thing that can happen for the Group of 5 is Tulane and James Madison get absolutely taken to the woodshed. One of these two teams, I almost feel like, has to get a victory and the other one has to put up a significant fight in this ballgame to show, look, guys, the group of fives deserve to be in this conversation. Whether or not they are going to go get a victory, yes, we've seen Boise do it a couple of years ago. Cincinnati's been in the conversation. But if we're just going to take this into the Power Four, and that's all we're going to go with it, nothing else matters, then at some point, the group of five is going to have to annex itself away from the Power Four. And again, all of this comes down at the end of the day to money. If the group of five could land a lucrative television contract that would allow them to basically either become a subdivision of the power conferences, kind of like your FCS with your FBS, so they would do their own thing, and then they set up their own playoff system, whether it's a 16 team or a 32 team. How many ever teams you want to put in this thing? There's possibilities there. But it all comes down at the end of the day, guys, to monies. It's money, money, money. Who can give them the opportunity to put on television and make the most money for their conference? That's what it's all about. Has nothing to do with us as end users, watchers, the teams, nothing. It comes down to that almighty dollar and that TV contract of where their product would land. And of course, you would have to think that should the group of five try to subdivide away from the group of four, the Power Four, does that affect their tie-in with ESPN? Because, you know, ESPN since back in COVID has really gone to these regional networks to where you're getting basically your hometown talent taking care of these local games. We're used to they were sending people from the big company on the road all these times to cover all these games. I mean, I covered several games for Marshall University on ESPN Plus. I've done a multitude of sports: volleyball, men and women's soccer, baseball, softball, women's basketball, volleyball. I mean, you name it, I've done them. And I don't know that had that change not happened, that I would have gotten to those opportunities quickly as I did. But the question is that should the group of five move to its own thing, will ESPN still have that contract there to compete with their Power Four stuff that they're going to work with? We'll see. But I think that Oregon is way too tough in this game. They're just so good. They run an offense that is going to be so high octane that JMU, if they make the least little mistake, it's going to be amplified so big. And of course, there's no better place in college football, I think, to go play than in Austin Stadium in Eugene. We'll see how this plays out. JMU is going to have to play the game of their life to come out of there with a respectable game. But I'm going to hold my guns. I'm thinking A&M, even though I want to see Miami win this game, I think A&M wins at home in a one-score game. I think Tulane is your upset special to beat Ole Miss, and I think Oregon wins by 2 touchdowns. Those are my picks for the games today. That will move into the quarterfinal round and when we get into the big bowl games moving forward. So if my picks hold true, by the way, one of my picks I already have. I did pick Alabama last week over Oklahoma. If Oregon beats James Madison, they will play in the Capital One Orange Bowl on New Year's Day at 12 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, it is Indiana and Alabama in the Rose Bowl. And then Tulane, with a win over Ole Miss, or whoever wins that game, will play Georgia on the 1st at 8 p.m. in the All-State Sugar Bowl. And then on New Year's Eve, we'll get the Goodyear Cotton Bowl against Ohio State and the winner of Miami and Texas A&M. Then you get the Peach Bowl on January the 9th, the Fiesta Bowl on January the 8th, and then the National Championship plays in Miami on January the 19th. All right, so that's where we are with the college football playoffs. One thing I want to throw out about college football, and this was an interesting story I ran across a couple of days ago. So all of these players working with this NIL money, And one of the things that has run through is that some of these entities that's making these NIL deals have started putting these clauses in them to protect these athletes that are jumping around from point to point. Well, there was a player that committed to the University of Georgia. And in this contract, this player was had an opportunity to receive $390,000 for that season. Now, some of this was a $300,000 base guaranteed contract, essentially. He was getting $30,000 a month for 10 months. And then the other $90,000 was based on incentives. Well, the player went there for 1 month, basically signed the contract and was part of 1 month, got the $30,000, and then transferred to Missouri. Well, now this group has now filed a lawsuit against this student based on the clause under the contract that they signed that now entitles them to say that if the player breaks the contract and does not fulfill the full contract of the NIL deal, that the group that's providing the NIL money can try to recoup the cost of the entirety of said contract. Not the money that's paid out, but the entire contract. Meaning this player that went to a month for Georgia, then left for Missouri, under this contract now owes this group in Georgia $390,000. Now, you want to talk about throwing a lug wrench into a crazy mess already of what NIL has done to college athletics. Let these groups are basically a legalized mafia now. And they are giving you their money. And if you screw them over and they don't get what they want, they're going to come after your kneecaps. And I will promise you, you're going to start seeing some of this hopping around every time you look up. This player's going here, this player's moving there, this player's going here, this player decommits to go here, then they decommit here to go here. That stuff's going to stop because these players are going to start going under these contracts and they're going to have these clauses that says if you don't fulfill X terms, you owe us the entirety of this contract, and it's going to stop this transferring crap once and for all. I think NIL is a great thing for college, but the problem of it is that there are no regulations to it whatsoever. And in the process, what it has done is it has turned it into the Wild Wild West every stinking season. We'll see how it plays out. We'll keep it up to date on this one. All right, let's step out for a break. We come back, we'll dive into the NFL and take a look at what games mean the most this weekend. That's as we continue here on Across the Line on the Total Media Sports Network. Christmas is just around the corner, and Borders Sporting Goods is your one-stop shop for your avid outdoorsman. Borders Sporting Goods is your fishing headquarters for rods and reels from G. Loomis, St. Croix, Fenwick, Lewes, Shimano, Daiwa, and Abu Garcia. No matter what species of fish you are targeting, Borders has the perfect setup to make your next trip on the water a success. Borders has baits in every size and style with a wide selection of tackle from Berkeley, Strike King, Zoom, Z-Man, Bandit, and many more. Let Borders make all your holiday shopping a breeze. Stop by and stock up at Borders Sporting Goods, US 60 West in Ashland.
Tired of gas prices draining your wallet faster than your tank?
Download the Clark's Pump and Shop Rewards app. Earn discounts on gas, breakfast sandwiches, drinks, and more.
Fuel up, snack up, save up with Clark's Rewards. Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel. My place for the game?
Zach, you never have food.
I'm going to Clark's Pump and Shop. I'm loading up on crispy crunchy chicken, Hanger 54 pizza, and chips.
Well then, I'm in. And way to support the family business.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
At First National Bank, we strive to make every person that walks through our doors feel like family, because to us, you are. For over 120 years, we have lived in and served the families of Kentucky with genuine care through the good times and the bad. Come and see the difference banking with family can truly make for you at any of our 7 locations, or visit our website at www.fnbgrayson.com. First National Bank, member FDIC.
Primary Plus is your home for quality, advanced, affordable health care, offering family health, OBGYN, counseling, dental, diabetes management, patient-centered medical home, school-based health services, and a pharmacy. Primary Plus also offers the COVID-19 vaccine. Primary Plus with locations in Ashland, Vandsburg, South Shore, Grayson, Tollsboro, Maysville, Flemingsburg, and now in Moorhead. Online, primaryplus.net. For quality, advanced, affordable health care, come to Primary Plus. Again, online, primaryplus.net.
Hank FM weather. Your Tri-State weather forecast is brought to you by Perry Distributing in Ironton and Ashland, proud distributors of Budweiser and Bud Light.
This morning, we'll start with some sunshine lasting through the day with afternoon highs near 53. Heading into the evening, we'll see clouds slowly build back in with temperatures falling down near 34. And for Sunday, we'll see clouds linger early before some sunshine in the afternoon with highs near 44.
More great country music from the legends coming up right after Across the Line with James Collier, right here on 105.7 WLGC.
Back on Across the Line on the Total Media Sports Network as we stay on the gridiron and head into the NFL. Hey, if college football is not your go-to, you're okay, because we get football today as well in the NFL. The two games we get, one sucks, the other one a pretty decent game, I think. So today at 5, Eagles go to the Commanders, and Philly being a 7-point favorite in what I think is a must-win game for the Eagles. Now, this is an Eagles team that I think we've seen this happen to so many times. Everybody gets to the point to where they feel like they're about ready to write them off, and then, bam, here they come again. So we'll see how things work out. Saquon Barkley's had a terrible year. Now, again, you have to put that in perspective of what he did last year of being a unicorn as compared to this. He's going to get 1,000 yards, but we're talking about a guy that was chasing down the rushing record of over 2,000 yards last season. And this year, he's just not had it. Only 6 touchdowns, by the way. The 8 o'clock game, both of these games on Fox, by the way, Packers-Bears for the supremacy of the NFC North. The Packers' biggest loss, though, came last week when they lost Micah Parsons. When Micah Parsons is off the field defensively, the Green Bay Packers are a completely different looking team, because you were sending double teams, at least sometimes triple teams, to keep Micah Parsons away from your quarterback. And don't look now, but Ben Johnson has come into Chicago, and all of a sudden the Bears look the part. 36 degrees and cold in Soldier Field. Bears are a 1.5-point favorite at home. And again, I'm still not sold on Caleb Williams. But I know people hate to hear this term, and I'm kind of one of those people too, but you got to say it. He's been a game manager for the Bears. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, especially in the NFL. You've won 10 games. You're doing something right. But the connection that Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams has made, I will say this, I was not expecting to see this type of turnaround as quickly as it was. Now, Ben Johnson was a phenomenal coordinator in Detroit. There's no doubt about that. You can see how much Detroit has fallen off offensively with the cohesiveness that was there with Ben Johnson gone. So we'll see how this one plays out. Huge game in this one. We'll look at standings here in just a second. What a game Thursday night it was. The Seahawks get what looked like it was 30-28. They just scored the touchdown. They're going for 2. Sam Darnold throws a pass and was trying to throw a backward pass, and it was really weird when it first looked. Was it a lateral or was it a backward pass? When the process of doing this, a Rams defender gets in the path of the intended pass, and it hits him in the helmet. The ball caroms forward over the goal line, and a Seahawks player puts the mitts on it in the end zone and just kind of slaps the ball like, daggone it. We didn't get our 2-point conversion. Well, then the officials get together, and they go to replay, obviously in a play like this, and they determine that Darnold's pass was indeed a backward pass, which then the deflection off of the helmet was considered to be a fumble. The ball was then fumbled because it was touched by another player, not the Seahawks first. So then, therefore, the Seahawks could recover it, which they did in the end zone for the 2-point conversion. And they go on to win 38-37 and take a big lead in the NFC, where the NFC could go through Seattle rather than going through LA. So Seahawks now 12-3 on the season. The Rams go to 11-4. Ah, man, give me this game again in the NFC Championship game. I think that's easily your two teams that are at the head of the table in the NFC. The NFC, I think there's a couple of teams that's really, really good. You've got maybe three teams that are, they're right there, and the rest of the league is just garbage. So we'll see how things play out. All right, Sunday games. The 8 o'clock game on Peacock and NBC. This game got flexed into this position. Thank God they took the Bengals and the Dolphins out of this spot. But you got Patriots at the Ravens. Patriots coming off their first loss in 10 games. They fell to Buffalo last week in what is still considered one of the biggest train wrecks I've ever seen of a game. But Patriots were up 21-0 and get beat at home by the Bills. The biggest thing for me that scares me in this football game is the Patriots have been really bad stopping the run over the last month and a half. And you've got Derrick Henry, who is arguably one of the best rushers in all of football, as well as Lamar Jackson, who can do some damage in the backfield. The question becomes is that, are you going to get MVP Lamar show up, or are you going to get, I don't know who Lamar is, show up? And then for the Patriots on the other side, how do they respond by coming away after a tough loss? Because the interesting thing this year, all three losses the Patriots have been at home. They're 6-0 on the road. Baltimore is a 3-point favorite in this one. However, if the Patriots lose this game, all is not lost because they still have the way to play themselves into the AFC East Championship, even if the Bills win their game over the Browns. We'll talk about that in just a second. All right, into the 1 o'clock hour. Bills go to the Browns. Chargers are at the Cowboys. Chiefs, who are done for the year after Patrick Mahomes suffers the season-ending ACL injury. It was a moot point besides the fact because the Chiefs did not win, so they are eliminated from postseason contention, but they'll go to Tennessee and play the Titans with Gardner Minshew as the quarterback. Bengals are in Miami against the Dolphins. Jets are at the Saints. Vikings at the Giants. Bucks at the Panthers. Jaguars at the Broncos in the 4 o'clock hour. Falcons at the Cardinals. Steelers, Lions, Raiders, and Texans. Now, real quickly, two games there that really catch my eye. Jaguars, Broncos. Okay. The question about the Jaguars, they're 10-4. They played some really crappy teams. And they played some teams that were decent with records, but had been beaten up really bad injury-wise. This, by far, will be their best game that they've had to play so far. And Trevor Lawrence has tried to show that, maybe he has taken that next step forward. We'll see if this is that step or not, because this will be the toughest defense that he's faced this year. Another big one in the 4 o'clock hour, Steelers at the Lions. And this is a must-win game for both of these two teams, who are 8-6 on the year, but trying to find a way in a cluttered division to get a higher seed than what they currently have. So that's where we are on that. Monday Night Football, 49ers at the Colts. What a story for Phillip Rivers. The 44-year-old quarterback comes out of retirement. Basically, he didn't even have a pair of cleats. He grabbed some cleats out of a trophy case to use for that game. And he goes out and doggone near takes his team into a victory. And you hear all these people out there, they're talking about Andrew Luck never got a phone call. Cam Newton didn't get a phone call. Some of these other people, Colin Kaepernick. But you know what? You bring a guy out of retirement from 5 years and he takes you and nearly wins the game. I think you made the right phone call. Now, did Phillip Rivers do anything that was like, oh my God, it was remarkable? No. But he didn't do anything to lose the game either. Take it for what it's worth. Everybody's always, they want to find the story behind the story and try to make things harder than it is. This was not a hard one. Phillip Rivers did what he had to do to give the Colts an opportunity to try to manage their way through this thing. And it ended up at the end, it just wasn't enough. They had the field goal and then gave up a bad kick It was special teams. It wasn't Phillip Rivers that gave up the kick that gave Seattle a chance to win it, and they did. So we'll see how this one plays out. But 49ers in Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis Monday night at 8:15. All right, so looking at the standings, here's where we stand. In the AFC East, the Patriots, with a one-game lead over Buffalo, they've split the series, both winning in their opposite teams' home. So New England won in Buffalo, Buffalo won in New England. So the way it works out is because of the Patriots' record of where they are in the division, the Patriots can, even if they lose a game to Baltimore, they can win their last two against the Jets and the Dolphins, and they would still get the AFC East title, even if Buffalo, wins out. So the Patriots still have an opportunity to win the AFC East. If they beat Baltimore, they clinch the AFC East. All right, in the North, Pittsburgh and Baltimore are your two teams that remain. Pittsburgh, a one-game lead on Baltimore, who sits at 7-7. So a big game there for the Ravens on Sunday Night Football. In the South, three teams still in contention. Jacksonville at the top. Houston, who has come on strong. They've got the longest winning streak right now other than the Broncos, in all of football, sitting at 6 games. They're one game behind Jacksonville in second, and the Colts have lost 4 straight, and now they fall into 8-6. The AFC West, the Broncos have clinched a playoff spot at 12-2. They've got a 2-game lead over the Chargers. Now, in the East, Philadelphia at 9-5 in a division that nobody seems to want to win. The Dallas Cowboys 6-7-1. Again, an Eagles win and they're clinched. An Eagles loss, a Dallas win, it still keeps the conference, believe it or not, in jeopardy in those last 2 weeks. So we'll see how it plays out. In the North, the Bears, the Packers, the Lions, all separated by 2 games. You've got the Bears at 10-4, Green Bay 9-4-1, Detroit 8-6. Bears, Packers, that game is going to do a lot, and boy, Detroit, all they got to do is win. And then they put themselves right back in the mix of one of those 2 teams that's going to fall. However, if the Bears win, they push away and put themselves in the driver's seat for the NFC North title. In the NFC South, could we get a division that's going to produce a team with a losing record that's going to host a first-round playoff game? It's possible. The Bucs and the Panthers both at 7-7. Neither team has looked the part down the stretch. We'll see how this plays out. In the West, 2 teams already clinched, the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams. Seahawks are 12-3. Rams are at 11-4. Again, Seattle, a huge win there. They've won 5 consecutive and look to be one of the strongest teams in all of football. How crazy right now does it look for the Minnesota Vikings, who gave up Sam Darnold for nothing? Just let him walk out the door, and now look where they are. Oh, yeah, by the way, they're eliminated from playoffs contention after, a 14-3 season last year that they played for the overall number 1 seed in the NFC last year and a loss to Detroit in the last game of the regular season. Doesn't look too good this year for you if you're a Vikings fan. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, let's talk some Christmas. It's one of my favorite segments I do each year. My favorite Christmas songs and Christmas movies that's coming up this week as we celebrate Christmas around the Collier household. That's as we continue here Across the Line on the Total Media Sports Network. Christmas is just around the corner, and Borders Sporting Goods is your one-stop shop for your avid outdoorsman. Borders offers Hoyt and Matthews bows as well as 10-point crossbows with a variety of accessories for all your hunting needs. Borders also offers a full selection of shotguns and rifles with plenty of ammunition and reload supplies, along with Benchmade and case knives. Borders is your headquarters for the largest selection of Liberty gun safes in the area, no matter how big or small your need to keep your firearms safe, and have layaway and delivery options available. Let Borders make all your holiday shopping a breeze. Stop by and stock up at Borders Sporting Goods, US 60 West in Ashland.
Tired of gas prices draining your wallet faster than your tank?
Download the Clark's Pump and Shop Rewards app. Earn discounts on gas, breakfast sandwiches, drinks, and more.
Fuel up, snack up, save up with Clark's Rewards. Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel. My place for the game?
Zach, you never have food.
I'm going to Clark's Pump and Shop. I'm loading up on crispy crunchy chicken, Hanger 54 pizza, and chips.
Well then, I'm in. And way to support the family business.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
At First National Bank, we strive to make every person that walks through our doors feel like family, because to us, you are. For over 120 years, we have lived in and served the families of Kentucky with genuine care through the good times and the bad. Come and see the difference banking with family can truly make for you at any of our 7 locations, or visit our website at www.fnbgrayson.com. First National Bank, member FDIC.
Primary Plus is your home for quality, advanced, affordable health care, offering family health, OBGYN, counseling, dental, diabetes management, patient-centered medical home, school-based health services, and a pharmacy. Primary Plus also offers the COVID-19 vaccine. Primary Plus with locations in Ashland, Vanceburg, South Shore, Grayson, Tollsboro, Maysville, Flemingsburg, and now in Moorhead. Online, primaryplus.net. For quality, advanced, affordable health care, come to Primary Plus. Again, online, primaryplus.net.
Let's get back inside the octagon of sports with James Collier and Across the Line on the Total Media Sports Network and 105.7 WLGC.
Christmas time and holiday cheer. That's what this segment's going to be all about. When you think of Christmas movies, and if somebody walked up to you right now and they immediately said, give me your 3 top Christmas movies, go. The movies that immediately jump out in your head, those are probably the movies that you've either grown up watching, you still watch, or you have watched it so many times that you have every single word etched in your brain from the existence of time. Well, that's where I am. But I'm going to go a little more. I'm going to go with not just 3, I'm going to go out to 5. Because there's 5 that I could easily say, this is a no-doubter, no-brainer whatsoever. These are my 5 go-to Christmas movies that are out there. Now, before I start, I'm going to throw one out there that I think needs to be thrown in the garbage once and for all and does not ever need to cross the list of being considered a Christmas movie, and it's Die Hard. I tried watching Die Hard a couple of weeks ago. First off, it is a terrible movie. It is so bad to watch. The second thing there is nothing about Christmas about this movie other than it happens around Christmas time. Plain and simple. So, for all you realists out there that think Die Hard is a Christmas movie, I'm sorry, it is a complete bust on my list. It'll never even be in the conversation again of being a Christmas movie. Die Hard is forever gone and burned away. Hopefully, somehow I'm going to burn it out of my memory for the hour plus that I sat and watched it and was finally said, enough's enough. This is awful. It was just, I don't know. It was like a college person that was trying to put an independent film together on a very light budget and had some decent stuff, some bad sound effects, and one good actor. And I don't know. Some people out there may love Die Hard. I thought it was an absolute boring, awful movie to watch. It has nothing to do with Christmas. Okay, here we go. Number 5 for my all-time Christmas movies. For me, it's going to be Elf. Buddy the Elf is epic. I love Elf. I think it's a great movie. It's one of those that when you watch it, you can't help to just laugh at how crazy Will Ferrell is in this. And James McCann in there as well as Buddy's dad is great. But I don't know that if they would have put someone other than Will Ferrell in this place as Buddy the Elf, that it would have ever carried the same composure of what this movie truly is. Will Ferrell's canny nature of the way that he is in this movie is just epic. And I love Buddy the Elf. I think it's a great movie. Elf is an awesome one, but it's number 5 on my list. All right, number 4. It was funny. We had some dress-up things this week at school, and on Friday, the last day of school going into Christmas break, it was dress up as your favorite holiday movie character or wear something from your favorite holiday movie. And one of the students I saw, I've never seen this t-shirt before, which was really cool, had a Little Nero's Pizza t-shirt from Home Alone. Yes, the original Home Alone, not Home Alone 2. Home Alone 2 is probably an honorable mention. It was okay. I felt like it was kind of one of those that we've been there, done that type of thing. But Home Alone, the original, epic story. I love it all the way through. Even knowing all the stuff that they did to build the set, basically in a high school gymnasium, to film this movie is epic. But Macaulay Culkin was just, for such a young kid to do what he did was remarkable. And Joe Pesci was, he was the part that just made that movie awesome. But all of the different things, the special sound effects and the energy that's in the movie, give me Home Alone at number 4. All right, number 3. Now, of course, you're getting into some really tough movies here when you start trying to sort these out. For me, this is not a hard one. My 1 and 2 are a lock, and if anybody knows me, they know exactly where I'm going with this. But number 3 for me is The Grinch, and the Jim Carrey Grinch. I love that movie. I think Jim Carrey is phenomenal. Again, it's kind of the same thing. You put Will Ferrell in Buddy the Elf position. You put Jim Carrey in as the Grinch. I don't know that the Grinch has the same pizzazz that it has without Jim Carrey. That movie is just epic. Cindy Lou Who and all the folks there in Whoville. I love The Grinch. I haven't got a chance to watch it this year yet, but it is on the list once I get through all of these 6,000 basketball games that we're covering this week going into Christmas. My grandson is infatuated with The Grinch. So that's one of the things that we will be doing when he comes in this week. We will take time to sit down and watch The Grinch together. So I'm really looking forward to that opportunity of adding another memory to that port if we go from there. All right, at number 2, this one is a guarantee. Watch on Christmas Eve before 8 o'clock. And if you know anything about Christmas Eve and Christmas movies and 8 o'clock, you know where number 1's going. But this is number 2. And it has to happen before 8 o'clock on Christmas Eve. And I've already watched it once this year. And it's Christmas Vacation. Of course, Chevy Chase and the entire family of what they make up for Christmas Vacation. I think I can probably recite every single word of this movie. My wife gets so frustrated when we watch this movie because I can recite it. There are so many great, funny parts in that movie that it's just hilarious holiday comedy from start to finish. My favorite part is the Christmas tree. Where are you going to put a tree that big, Griswold? Bend over and I'll show you. And, they bring it into the house and he cuts the ribbon and out it goes out the windows and goes through it. And, little full, a lot of sap in here. Looks great. That giant Christmas tree, just wanting to be that guy that takes it over the top. And then, of course, the 100,000 imported Italian twinkle lights. And when they finally turn them on, his father-in-law immediately points out, those lights aren't twinkling, Clark. And, of course, that's just the humor that goes into that part of everything that they did in that movie. But no question for me, number 2, Christmas Vacation. All right, number 1. And, again, for those who know me, they know this one was not even close. And I've already given you the biggest hint of the entirety. But Christmas Eve at 8 o'clock, that's when it begins. The 24-hour playing. There is nothing else that needs to be on television during those 24 hours of 8 o'clock Christmas Eve until 8 p.m. Christmas night. And that's because there's only one thing that's going to play in there that's going to recycle every 2 hours for 12 total showings, and that is The Christmas Story. Yes, little Ralphie and his beautiful carbine action Red Ryder BB gun. The leg lamp. Yes, I have a full-size leg lamp in my house. I have a small leg lamp in one of the rooms. We have leg lamp lights that is on a special Christmas tree in our house. I have different items from the movie of the Christmas Story. Yes, I can recite you word for word, start to finish, every single line in this movie, and I don't care to do it. Yes, I have considered trying to find a way to go and stay in the Christmas Story house, which, yes, you can do. It's in Cleveland, by the way, and do this on Christmas Eve, Christmas night, because you have to do it for a 2-night minimum. The price tag is not easy. I haven't found a way to swallow that yet. Having a grandson, probably going to do that at some point in my life, to where I'm going to go and try to stay in the Christmas Story house. Hopefully, I get to meet the Bumpkus Hounds. But the whole thing with the Christmas Story and the Chinese food, when the Bumpkus Hounds comes in and eats all the turkey, that's a part of my family. When my wife and I, had only been married for maybe 2 years, and one of the things we used to do, we lived in Louisville. We moved to Louisville on our first anniversary, and we were there for almost 10 years before we moved back this way. But we would come back home for a week to leading into Christmas to visit the family. So we had enough time so that we wasn't, making an appearance here, making an appearance here, making an appearance here, and boom, we got to get back in the car and drive back home. And it's a 2-day whirlwind tour of just trying to get everything you possibly can get in, and it's just too much, especially with kids. And this was only with one kid. This was before we had Trey. This was just with Nicholas. So we made the trip back home. And, of course, you're gone for a week, so you're not going to go to the grocery store or get anything. We returned home on Christmas Eve, and it was late. We wanted to get home for Nicholas to be home for Santa and all the stuff with Christmas and everything. So the thought process was, by the way, we are very young at this point, naive in trying to figure out as adults how the world truly works. Well, this was the time that I found out that, by the way, Walmart is not always open. So me thinking Walmart never closes, I figured that they were going to be open on Christmas Day. And we were just going to get up that morning and do our thing, and then we were going to shimmy right over to Walmart that was about 3 minutes from our apartment, go pick up some food, no problem. And we pulled into the parking lot, and if you've ever seen National Lampoon's Vacation when they go to Wally World, and he pulls in and he's like, first one's here. That's what the parking lot looked like, because it was us and nobody else. And I looked at my wife and I said, we've got a problem. And she says, what's the problem? I said, Walmart is closed and we have zero food in our house. So we did find a gas station that was right behind our apartment. So we went into the gas station and we got some stuff to do for breakfast. And we looked to see what other foods were available that was going to be for dinner and lunchtime area. And it basically was going to be hot dogs and frozen pizzas. Well, luckily, there was a restaurant right across the complex from where my office was that was a Chinese restaurant. And by golly, they were open on Christmas Day. And that's when we started the tradition of the Collier household of going to eat Chinese food on Christmas Day. And it was so funny when we moved back to the area where we are now from Louisville. The first thing the boys were both worried about, it wasn't the fact that they were leaving friends and their memories that they had in Louisville, and for Trey, the only place that had been home for him because he was born in Louisville, but it was, well, are we still going to get to go eat Chinese food on Christmas Day? That's how much of a part of our family it's become. And still to this day, on Christmas Day, my Felicia and me and Trey and his fiance, we will go to the Super China Buffet up here in Ashland, and we will go eat Chinese food with our ugly Christmas sweaters or our ugly Christmas jackets, whatever we're going to wear. We'll do it. My other son, Nicholas, his wife hates Chinese food, and he has not been able to embark on his own tradition of taking Finn to go eat Chinese food on Christmas Day. But that is what we will do, and that's why the Christmas Story will forever be ingrained as my number one. Christmas music, real quickly. Of course, there's no better time than Mariah. I wait for November 1st midnight for its time. And here comes All I Want for Christmas from Mariah. But give me any of the oldies. Give me some Bing Crosby, some Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole. Give me those. I love the oldies. I don't like this new age stuff. I've been listening to Christmas music since Halloween, and I've listened to about every possible song that's out there. And some of this new age stuff, this a cappella crap, Miley Cyrus, these newer artists that they don't have anything working, so they put a Christmas album together. Not a fan. Call me an old fart. I'm fine with that. I don't care. Give me my traditional Christmas music that you can actually listen to. It's not a rave fest of somebody trying to put a fancy spin on some Christmas classic. I'll just stay with the oldies. Give me the good ones and leave that other junk at the house. All right, we'll take our final break. When we come back, it is time for the Borders Sporting Goods Rant of the Week. That's as we continue here on Across the Line on the Total Media Sports Network. Christmas is just around the corner, and Borders Sporting Goods is your one-stop shop for your avid outdoorsman. Borders Sporting Goods is your fishing headquarters for rods and reels from G. Loomis, St. Croix, Fenwick, Lewes, Shimano, Daiwa, and Abu Garcia. No matter what species of fish you are targeting, Borders has the perfect setup to make your next trip on the water a success. Borders has baits in every size and style with a wide selection of tackle from Berkley, Strike King, Zoom, Z-Man, Bandit, and many more. Let Borders make all your holiday shopping a breeze. Stop by and stock up at Borders Sporting Goods, US 60 West in Ashland.
Tired of gas prices draining your wallet faster than your tank?
Download the Clark's Pump and Shop Rewards app. Earn discounts on gas, breakfast sandwiches, drinks, and more.
Fuel up, snack up, save up with Clark's Rewards. Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel. My place for the game?
Zach, you never have food.
I'm going to Clark's Pump and Shop. I'm loading up on crispy crunchy chicken, Hanger 54 pizza, and chips.
Well then, I'm in. And way to support the family business.
Clark's Pump and Shop.
Return, refresh, refuel.
At First National Bank, we strive to make every person that walks through our doors feel like family, because to us, you are. For over 120 years, we have lived in and served the families of Kentucky with genuine care through the good times and the bad. Come and see the difference banking with family can truly make for you at any of our 7 locations, or visit our website at www.fnbgrayson.com. First National Bank, member FDIC.
Primary Plus is your home for quality, advanced, affordable health care, offering family health, OBGYN, counseling, dental, diabetes management, patient-centered medical home, school-based health services, and a pharmacy. Primary Plus also offers the COVID-19 vaccine. Primary Plus with locations in Ashland, Vanceburg, South Shore, Grayson, Tollsboro, Maysville, Flemingsburg, and now in Moorhead. Online, primaryplus.net. For quality, advanced, affordable health care, come to Primary Plus. Again, online, primaryplus.net.
This is Across the Line with James Collier on the Total Media Sports Network and 105.7 WLGC.
Back on Across the Line on the Total Media Sports Network. Time for the Borders Sporting Goods Rant of the Week. Borders Sporting Goods US 60 in Cannonsburgh for all your hunting and fishing needs, as well as those Liberty gun safes. Go see Brad and the gang. They've got you all set up. So they've got rebates going on with those Liberty gun safes. They do have delivery available. There's all kinds of fishing sales, rods and reels. Plenty of time to still get out there and pick up that last-minute gift idea, some of those stocking stuffers for your avid outdoorsmen. But go see Brad and the gang. They'll get you all squared away. I got to make this one quick. I ran a little long today. And again, I don't know how much time I actually have here. So my producer's probably looking at the time on this and about to go into a panic attack. But I may run long on my time. I don't know. If I do, who knows? Maybe nobody even hears this, but we'll see. But as we go into the holiday season, this week going into Christmas, the most important thing that I can stress for everybody out there is, one, everybody is trying to do something that creates stress and becomes a stressful environment, whether it's managing money, dealing with holiday crowds, dealing with holiday family issues, traveling, whatever. It's stressful. And it's always stressful to the nth degree when you get around a big holiday like Christmas. So for those who out there that feel like that you are the most important person in the entire world at the moment of whatever it is that you are doing, give yourself a break and everybody else a break as well. And just remind yourself, because I'm telling you right now, you're not. You're not any more important. I don't care how much money you make, where you work, what your last name is, how many millions of miles that you've flown in your lifetime, and your flight has been delayed for 6 hours. I heard this story on the radio yesterday. Some moron that was delayed for like 6 hours went up to the counter at the airline and demanded to be put first on the next plane, and said that he was a diamond member and he had flown so many thousands of miles and had all these points and this and that. And the clerk looked at him and said, yep, you and every other person in this building has done the same thing. And this jagoff got so mad that he went over and punched the wall in the airport and broke his hand, to the point where he had to have medical attention for being a complete buffoon in public, because, again, he's important. You know, everybody else around him is not important. His stuff is important. And I get so sick of people who act like that. Entitled. That's the problem with our society. Everything's entitlement. I'm entitled to have this. You should give me this. I need to do this. Stop it. And especially around the holidays, for God's sakes, people, everybody out there is stressed to the nth degree. They don't need your entitlement taking it to another level, because you are acting like a complete moron just because the fact of you feel like that you are entitled to be better than everybody else. So as we go through this week of Christmas, of travel, shopping, holidays, family, stop it. Try to be a little bit decent of a human being for once in your life. Give everybody else around us a break, and just step back and say, am I really that important? And if you don't know how to answer that, come and find me. I will tell you. No, you're not, moron. You're not that important. Everybody else out there is just as important as you think you are. And the problem of it is that's still not very much. That's the Borders Sporting Goods Rant of the Week. Guys, enjoy the holidays. Spend the time with your friends and family as much as you possibly can. And again, deep breaths, have some patience, and just enjoy that time that you get to be. That's it for us this week. Merry Christmas to everyone out there from the Total Media Sports Network. I'm James Collier. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll talk to you on the other side next week for our final show of 2025 right here on the Total Media Sports Network.
You've been listening to Across the Line with James Collier on 105.7 WLGC FM
and the Total Media Sports Network.
Tune in each Saturday morning beginning at 10 for the latest news and analysis from inside the octagon of sports
on 105.7